Are you feeling overwhelmed by creating content? If that's the case, you're not alone, because content creation is very time consuming, whether you're creating content for a video podcast or audio podcast, blogging, anything. It can be super time consuming, but the trick behind creating successful content relies on not just creating content of value, but really having solid workflows and systems to help you create the content in a way that is consistent throughout, from the very beginning, from the ideation process to the moment you press that publish button and you share your content with the world. Today, we're kicking off a new mini series called Podcasting Essentials, and the goal is to share with you strategies to help you maximize your podcast production experience, your workflows, and your systems, to not just help you create content successfully, but really to make sure that you are creating the steps to building and growing a sustainable podcast production. I'm Yesenia, your video podcast and content creation coach, and this is Focus Simple Podcast. When I first started my podcast, I thought I needed to have an hour-long episode to have a successful podcast, and that could not be more farther from the truth. If you're just starting out building your business, building your content, building your brand online, and you don't have a big following, chances are that your audience will not want to sit down for an hour-long episode, and that's where shorter episodes come into play. A shorter episode not only facilitates the recording process and obviously the editing, the post-production, but really can help you gauge whether or not your audience is interested and willing to listen to longer content. So you can start by creating episodes that are 5, 8, 10 minutes or so, see how people are engaging with that content. And if you notice that you have a higher consumption rate, then that means that your audience is very engaged, and you can then start creating content that is longer. So that is one of the benefits of having shorter episodes. And another reason why you might think of creating shorter or micro episodes, where they're even just a couple of minutes long, is because maybe on the back end, you have lots of things going on in your business. So you may not have the bandwidth to create content that is significantly longer. So having these shorter bite-sized episodes can still help you create content consistently and also be delivering value to your audience. The next one is outsourcing editing, and I cannot stress this out. This is actually one of the things that I've outsourced in the beginning, is my post-production, whether it was photography or video editing or audio editing, anything, because it can be super time consuming. Though when you're starting out, it is very likely that you're going to be editing everything for yourself, for your content, and that's okay. But keep in mind that as your podcast grows, as your business grows, then you might want to consider the idea of outsourcing an editor so that you can then focus on the things that you do best, on your zone of genius. The next thing is establishing a workflow. So creating a consistent workflow is going to be key in helping you streamline your podcast production process. So you want to look at setting aside a dedicated time to brainstorm the ideas and the content that you want to be creating. Set aside some time to record your episodes, to edit them if you're choosing to edit them, and then also set time to create the graphics, any promotional material, the emails, and obviously publishing your content, because we got to publish the content. That's important. In having a workflow for your production, you're not only making sure that you're getting things done, but you're also getting things done in a consistent way that is also helping you get that high quality production that you want. And when the time comes to audit and check and see your steps and your processes throughout the whole content creation experience, then that will also help facilitate you seeing the areas that might need to be improved along the way. Along that same train of thought is a batch recording. So this is a very time-saving strategy because you have your focused attention in creating the content, in recording. So you want to allot a certain amount of time, whether it's in a week or in a month, in a day, or however you want, to dedicate to recording your episodes exclusively. You can do 2 episodes at a time, 3, 4, depending on the length of the episode, depending on the type of content that you're creating, depending on your time of your availability to do so. So this will definitely help you out. And not only that, but you're very refreshed. You're like, your mind is in the zone as you're creating and recording these episodes. And the next one is leveraging automation. Take advantage of the many tools that are available to help you facilitate the whole production, the whole experience of creating content, running your business. So things like automated schedulers or email reminders, things for social media, anything that you can automate to a degree. It will help you save time, and it will help with that decision analysis paralysis, because there are lots of moving parts in the process of creating content, creating your podcast, that the less decision making that you need to do to make, the better. And then the more you can focus on those things that matter, on your zone of genius. Creating content for your podcast has lots of moving pieces, and it can be overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be. And if you feel that you need a little bit more help in creating that workflow that makes sense for you, then check out the description notes so you can book a coaching session with me. Remember that this episode is part of the mini-series Podcasting Essentials here on Focus and Move Podcast. I'll see you on the next one.